What's up? It's Maestro, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing a brief overview of the new expanded SoftSynth plugin for the Montage M and MODX M keyboard. Now, Yamaha recently released the MODX M E.S.P plugin version for us users. Montage users, you guys have already had this, so it's our turn now. And I've been looking forward to actually trying this out because, as you guys know, I run my Studio Logic SL73 with an iPad with plugins from that all the time. And sometimes I do want my Yamaha patches with me in a more portable setup without having to take my MODX M8 out all the time. Because sometimes I don't want to carry out an 88 key keyboard, and this is just perfect for me. So a few things to note. When it comes to this plugin, it is not standalone. You do have to use this with a DAW. I'm running it with FL Studio. In terms of computers or laptops, I am using the new MacBook Pro M5 with a 24 gigabyte RAM and 1 terabyte SSD drive. Now, to get started with this plugin as well, the install process is pretty tedious, as Yamaha makes you install about 3 to 4 different applications and managers to get the plugin working. Now, this plugin is also compatible with your MODX M patches, and you can also transfer out patches that you build in this plugin into your MODX M with no problem. I will do another video on that, as I have not tried it out just yet. This is my first time using the plugin. I've been messing around with it for a couple hours, and I figured I'll go ahead and do a video for you guys. So I am using this with the Studio Logic SL73 Mark II as a demo for demo purposes, but I will also show you guys how to utilize this with this, because with the Studio Logic, you only get to use 4 encoders, but you can MIDI assign those 4 encoders. What you will have to do is set your zone 1 to channel 2, and then you'll hold the button underneath the first encoder and then adjust accordingly for that. But what we're going to want to make sure we do first is make sure our MIDI settings are selected accordingly. We need to make sure we have SL control selected. Then we'll go into enable and make sure we have port 2. Now, in the actual MIDI settings of the plugin, we'll go into MIDI, import, and set that to 2. This will allow us to MIDI learn anything within the E.S.P plugin on our Studio Logic. So, for example, I'm going to show you guys first how to load in sounds into the plugin. You can do this via a folder within your laptop, or in my case, I'm using my USB drive. So the same goes how it goes on the MODX M is going to go for the plugin. We'll go in here, load the Royal Grand, and then I'm going to go in here and load the EP5 Bright Times, okay? And then, of course, just like the MODX M, we want to go and we're going to click right here where it says part name for part 1, and we'll do the same for part 2. So we'll say part name, bank/favorite, Royal Grand, and we'll click once. The blessing of this is you only have to click once. You don't have to click twice like most programs or software. And we'll do the same thing here. Royal Grand, EP5, Bright Times, and we're good. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and select other sounds that I know I want to use for this demo, like the analog pad and background strings. Okay. And so for this, to get started, also another thing that you want to make sure you do in your plugin, go to your settings and set your main L and L left and right to +12B like you have it on the MODX M. So before we get started, I want to show you guys, go ahead and show you how to MIDI learn. Again, I mentioned you're going to use the 4 encoders on your Studio Logic, but you're going to hold the first button under the first encoder, which will bring up your MIDI knobs for your zone 1. And my zone 1 is set to channel 2. So for the first volume, we'll right click learn. We'll turn the first knob up, okay? Then we'll go out, right click the second volume, turn the second encoder, Then we'll go into the third, right click, turn the third encoder. Then we'll right click, learn the fourth, and turn the fourth encoder. Now all encoders, 4 encoders, are adjusting accordingly the full volume of each sound. Now, if we wanted to do something, say, to adjust the overall sound of the board, in this case, we can right click, hit learn, and we should be able to adjust something here. Okay, so it seems like the Studio Logic main volume does not recognize, or is not allowed to send MIDI signals to that knob, so we're good. So what we can do is we'll go into the Royal Grand patch. I'm going to go into amplitude, and I'm going to set the release to about 7. Same like I told you guys previously on the MODX M. When you load this sound in, you're going to want to adjust the release like you need it. Then for the amplitude, for the analog pad, we'll bring these down. I'm going to go ahead and turn the delay off, and I'm going to bring down the reverb to about 6. Then I'm going to bring down the release. Okay. And let's see, let's put about 7 is good. For the strings, we're going to bring these down to about, I'd say about 9. Let's try 11. All right. Okay. And so then what we can do also with the Royal Grand sound, let's test it out. Okay. And then what I would do is EQ some of that white noise, and this is just caused by Sample Robot when creating samples. And then what I could also do here is bring in some reverb. All right. And so now what I can do now is adjust everything and create a patch out. All right. And another thing I want to do here is I want to bring in some effects. So I'm going to go in here and put in a chorus effect. Yep, that'll work. And then I'm going to bring in some analog pad. And another cool thing that you can do, if you notice that your sound is too loud, you can bring these down all the way here. So 2 elements here are controlling the analog pad, and I don't like how they're so loud. So when I do make any small adjustments, they're still big adjustments. So what I would do is come in here and adjust these to about 60. Okay. And then what I am going to also do here, let me see. That's the amplitude. All right, and for the strings, I'm going to do the same thing. The strings are going to come down some, just a little bit. And so we see the strings are way too out there. Bring them in. All right, so the strings are definitely way too high. So what we can do, we'll bring those down within the encoder. Okay. And then what I could also do too to make some room is what I like to do. I'll bring down a little bit of that low end for the EP. Okay. Now, one thing that you could possibly also do if they have it in here is I know on the MODX I like to kind of mix my sounds a little bit. And actually, they do have it here, so you can do it. Okay, great. So what I like to do is here I like to go to my fourth sound, and I would go in here and pan the strings a little bit to the right. And so let's see here. Actually, that's just going to deal with the elements. So I want to actually pan. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to pan it from here. My bad. okay? And then that way, there you have a patch. And if you want to save this patch, you're going to go to where you see this computer icon, and then you're going to click that, hit store new performance, and we can store this as Royal Worship. And then once that's stored, anytime we come into this plugin, we can load this plugin. You can load this patch in. And then what you could do is take this same patch and transfer it over into your MODX M. I'll do another video on that. It's not really, shouldn't be that too hard, but I want to make sure I get that together first and learn it before I bring it to you guys. But that's going to be it for today's video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. If you are looking for amazing patches for your Yamaha Montage, MODX, Nord Stage 4, Roland V Stage keyboard, or even plugins like the MK Sensation Extreme plugin, head over to soundstro.com. Also, check out our sound font library page. We now have sound font files for the Red Experience, Yamaha Clarity Grands, and the Asturia Grand from Nord that you can run and plug it into your DAW. And it's compatible also with the Dexabel Vivo S series keyboards. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.